Yes, he's just not the right person to have on that show. You can't talk about him.
Yeah. Right. What do you think? I can't tell you.
No, can't say anything.
Is this a show about zombies and people? I really can't say.
It's about one of those things. I just don't know.
Maybe both.
So last night they had Kevin Smith on.
Oh,
so he's a big name.
He's always a good guest to have on. He's quite the order.
He's very good, and I watched it, and I kind of enjoyed it this week because of that. He was typical Kevin Smith without the foul language
Or marijuana.
or the weed. He might have been high before they went on the air. I don't know, but he was pretty good. He spoke intelligently about the show.
Well, he speaks intelligently about a lot of topics.
Well, yeah, exactly. So he's obviously a fan. He's obviously been watching it, and he was definitely a good guest to have on. Chris Hardwick was a little bit annoying, but that's only because he talks too fast. I don't know. He just needs to slow down a little.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Relax.
I think that's what I think too.
Well, the name like Chris Hardwick. You can.
Really? Is his name that doesn't keep going fast?
Well, yeah, you have to talk fast. You gotta let that talk fast.
Hardwick. All right.
So Chris is the problem.
I can talk too fast too. Don't I? At least on here, I'll try to slow down.
Slow
as well.
down. I think it's a very mellow show.
We don't want to be too mellow.
No,
We also don't want to be here for 3 hours. So.
I want to sleep for 3 hours.
Yes, sir. At your own home. Of course. So we've got a few other items in the news. Robert Kirkman's been doing a lot of interviewing lately. I guess as we lead up to the last episode before the holiday hiatus, he's been doing circuits. He was interviewed by TV Guide, and he had this to say about Shane, character Shane. He said, "I certainly don't feel like he's warranted his welcome just yet. The thought of seeing Shane interact in a possible future prison storyline and interacting with other things that happen in the comic book is absolutely super appealing for me."
Well, of course it would be, because in the comic, Shane has been completed, right? He doesn't. Okay, we're getting some spoilers in the comic book here, okay?
Well, we spoiled it before, but just in case you're worried about it, go stop listening for a few minutes right now.
Well, Shane doesn't make it to prison, so having him there would be really, really interesting to see how he would, how the whole storyline would be with him there. I think it would be great, especially the Shane that's in the TV show. Yes, not the Shane that was in the comic, but having the Shane that's in the TV show continue on because it's a much stronger character.
Much stronger character. He's well, we talked about this later, but he might be the best character on the show right now because of how conflicted he is and how much he's got going on.
Yeah, he's absolutely conflicted and very interesting right now.
And you're right, I don't blame Kirkman for saying, yeah, because he can do anything he wants with Shane now. Not that he's the only decision maker, but he's in a position where he can see what happens to his character long after he killed him off in the comic. That's right. So it's a good position to be in. So Kirkman was also interviewed by Entertainment Weekly, and he said this on why Shane shot Otis in the leg. This is something we debated a little bit here, and shot him in the leg as opposed to the head is what I'm getting at. And he says it was the idea that if he screamed and moved, if he was screaming and moving about, it would draw more walkers to him while he was being devoured. And Shane's an a-hole.
Right. That's where both counts.
Yeah, exactly. Shane's a bit of a prick, and a screaming and moving injured person attracts more zombies than someone who is dead.
Well, that's how you catch a dinosaur, right? Remember in Jurassic Park, you put a live sheep and it kind of cries and yells, and that's when the Tyrannosaurus Rex comes.
Yeah.
You put a dead sheep, Tyrannosaurus Rex not coming here.
It works for fish too. If your bait is worm or frog or
Screaming. That's right, screaming somehow. A lot of fish
go right for it.
Because fish love screaming. Or they start to.
Well, wriggling things. I don't know what screaming. If worms can scream.
How do you know they don't? Huh?
Well, they scream real quietly. Anyways, I think that puts that debate to rest, and it's shot in the leg because he's a jerk and he didn't want to kill him outright.
Smart jerk.
Absolutely. Finally, Kirkman was interviewed by s2e6, and he had this to say about the last episode before hiatus. He says it's a bigger episode and there are some loose ends tied up, but I wouldn't want to say what just yet.
Right.
And I'm going to say right now that because spoiler for the episode you watched last night, because they haven't found Sophia yet, they're going to find her next week. They have to.
Yeah,
If they
or
don't,
Lori's going to give birth.
Yeah.
Wrap up the whole storyline. She's going to have a baby.
They have time out there.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm going with Sophia.
Okay, great.
So they're going to wrap her up. It's a bigger episode. However they choose to do it, if she just doesn't watch the force and she say okay, or she's a zombie in the barn like we speculated, we have no idea. But however they choose to do it, it better be satisfying. That's all I'm saying.
Michonne.
That's another theory we had. And I don't think that's going to happen next week, but
I hope she doesn't just walk out the force. Hey, how's it going? What's going on here? Oh, we did. Wandering around.
yeah,
All right.
I lived in another farmhouse for a while, and I went back to the highway, got stuff, but we went there.
Yeah, I dropped my doll.
Yes, right. I lost my
I lost my
doll.
doll. Sorry.
Yeah, it better be something more satisfying than that. That's all I'm saying right now. In the same interview, Kirkman went on to talk a little bit about episodes after the hiatus. He says there's definitely a slew of new characters that are going to be introduced after the hiatus. I wouldn't want to say who they are. Again, they may be original to the show. They may be from the comic. Can't really say. There are going to be some new faces coming up. Yeah, exactly. There's going to be fun stuff happening. I don't know. Do we think? How soon do you think we're going to have her leave the farm, if at all?
I think they're going to leave at the end of next episode.
Do you think they're actually going to come out?
Yeah, I think the cliffhanger is going to be them leaving the place behind. One way or the other.
I don't know. It could be in a strange on the road again.
I think they play out the farm. I think it's pretty played out.
Except that you got to think something might happen next week that changes everything.
Well, exactly. So I think the status quo at the farm hasn't played out. Things have got to change. They've been there long enough.
Yeah,
they're moving on.
See, I'm not convinced they're moving on. I think something's going to happen. Herschel wants to leave clearly, but I think that something's going to happen that forces the group to stay together a little longer. And by that I mean like Herschel people and Rick people.
Right.
We'll see.
I think they're going to leave.
One more quick item in the news. Toys R Us is going to be selling an exclusive Rick Grimes action figure. I find this moderately exciting because when I was down at New York Comic Con, I purchased a bunch of the Walking Dead action figures. And so Toys R Us is going to have a very, very cool black and white version of Rick.
Oh, interesting.
So he's like comic Rick. And you know the one I brought back from Comic Con that was bloody Rick?
That's right.
I think it's going to be bloody Rick, but black and white.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So according to InsidePulse.com, it will be in stores in December.
And time for Christmas.
I look forward to getting one. I must admit, I don't own all the figures yet, but I really want this one that's black and white.
I own them all so far.
Right. You're going to get this. You can.
Yeah, of course.
You're suddenly a action figure collector.
Suddenly.
Well,
I'm a grand total of 6. 5 Walking Dead and 1 Man in Black.
Man in Black.
Johnny Cash.
You have Johnny Cash?
I got from a couple years ago.
I bought a Canadian Prime Minister action figure for somebody once.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Wait, that was Laurier, right?
No, I think I bought Johnny McDonald for somebody.
I think my Derek was
No.
Laurier.
Moon King? Who was the first one? I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Okay. Boy. All right.
So Laurier's on the final bill.
We need to go back to the Canadian History High School.
Back to Canadian school.
That's pretty bad. Anyways, yeah, interesting. I thought to have a Canadian Prime Minister action figure. I'm more into a exclusive black and white Rick Grimes, though.
Yeah, especially since we know who he is.
Especially since it's very strong. Good lord.
Wow.
All right, that's it for the news. Let's get on to this.
Listener feedback.
That's right, listener feedback. You can call, email, tweet us, or send in Morse code messages.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, you have to decode it because that takes too long.
Well, there's probably more code decoders.
Oh,
applications out there.
that's true. I've used them before. It's like,
Hey.
well, for I lost it at ARG,
yeah.
and they had some Morse code way back in the day. I plugged into that. So,
How do you send it? That's the problem.
What?
Well, how do you send Morse code messages? Usually you have to send over wireless or over the telegraph lines.
They use
telegraph line.
the period and hyphen character, and then
That's just a text message. That's not Morse code.
It's Morse code of the 21st century, man.
Oh.
It's a bit lame, I agree.
Yeah, I think they have to send over wireless. We have a ham radio system, a ham radio operator's license. But then that's voice. Damn it. We need a telegraph system in this country, in every country.
Okay.
So we can get Morse code messages.
If some show comes up with an alternate reality game involving telegraph messaging, I'll be impressed.
All right.
We got a lot of cool feedback this week. First off, Lisa, who didn't give a location, but comment on our website about Sophia's doll. We were wondering last week if she actually had it when she ran off, because we weren't sure. And Lisa says, I was just rewatching scenes of Sophia's attack because I wasn't sure either if she really took the doll, but she did. She is carrying it in every single scene during the attack. So there you go, no prop error, nothing there. We had another person email in and say, of course she had the doll, give her some credit. And sorry, I don't remember who that was, but you've got a point. We need to probably assume that they know what they're doing, not that they don't know what they're doing.
And there's people on a show like this whose entire job is continuity.
Exactly, making sure that these things don't happen. So idiots on the internet like us don't go, they screwed up.
Yeah. I mean, what show is that sloppy these days? You're right.
It just wouldn't happen. So we can put that to rest. She definitely had the doll. Leanne writes in about Carol and Daryl. I like that rhyme. Yeah, could make for a fun little couple there. She says, I think the flashback in the beginning of this episode was to renew abusive Ed in our minds since Carol and Daryl have a moment later. She's of course talking about last week's episode. I also think Carol and Daryl won't hook up. I think Carol relates to Daryl in the abuse and sees him in a maternal way. Knowing he probably didn't have that love and appreciation growing up, she wants him to see that he's important too, which is good because his brother was raiding him in his hallucination trying to turn him rotten again.
Right.
So I think she has a good point there. This is more of a maternal type, she sees him as a child almost.
Really?
That she needs to take care of.
I'm not sure. I think the love interest is more realistic.
Think so?
I do. That's all mixed in. I mean, it can be easily misconstrued and mixed in, relationship slash being a mother kind of thing.
The only thing about it is, like, she was in an abusive relationship with her husband, and she sees that in Daryl as well. But she's also lost her child, and she's looking to replace that feeling a little bit, probably, because Sophia's been gone forever. And I feel like I think Leanne's right. I think Carol probably sees Daryl more as someone she can baby a little bit and help rather than on the sack with.
And how's that different from Ed? He probably was making her do the laundry, do the cooking, cleaning, getting the slippers in his beer. She was very much the maternal kind of person in that relationship as well. I'm sure. Add in abuse and verbal and physical abuse, and away you go.
Well, yeah, Ed was a terrible person. Carol is presumably a good person, or a nice person.
But she's used to that in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
So she goes into a relationship. She's probably thinking, in order for me to interest somebody, I have to take care of them, I have to feed them, I have to clothe them, I have to make them feel safe and comfortable, and I have to be submissive because if I'm not in any way, I can get the back end somebody.
Right, that's a good point. She might just be reacting how she's always been forced to react, sort of thing. So we'll see if that leads anywhere in the show. Jerry from Texas writes in about Daryl pulling the bolt out of his side. He says, you talk about Daryl pulling the arrow out of his side the hard way. The way he pulled out the arrow may have been harder, but it was probably also significantly less painful. Imagine pulling out the arrow the other way with that sharp arrow having to travel back through, and there's also a chance to have gotten lodged in him. Daryl may be backwoods country boy, his survival skills served him well. Being in that situation, I would have pulled out that arrow the way Daryl did. did.
So that I have to go back and look, but I don't think that arrow had barbs on it.
Well, I went back and watched it because I, after reading Jerry's email, was slightly confused. When you said he pulled it out the hard way, to me, last week when we recorded, I wasn't sure. To me, that meant that he pulled it out backwards. So not having the arrow go forwards through the rest, pulling the rest of the arrow through him. The hard way to me would be pulling it out backwards and having the arrowhead kind of straight its way back through.
What was the arrowhead was barbed? Was it a hunting arrowhead or was it a target arrowhead?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't think there were barbs on it though.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much it was straight going out the back way, but the fletching coming out the front way. I'm sure you probably had more muscles in place, so it was easier to pull out going the front way. You know, pulling things out the back, you don't have your triceps, and you can't bring to bear as many muscle groups pulling out the back way. So bringing it the front way would be easier, physically. But I'm not sure if the arrowhead didn't have barbs. How much it was great. I think I don't have a lot of experience with arrowheads.
Right. Well, see, I'm just thinking about. I mean, an arrow is designed to fly forward, pointy end first, right? It sticks into you, and if you're going to pull out, keep that pointy end going the right way. Pointy end is a chemical term, I believe.
Yeah,
keep it going the same way, and yeah, you have to pull. What's it called? The other end of the arrow,
the back end,
the fletching or something. You have to pull that through for sure. But even that stuff kind of goes forward, not backwards.
Right.
And so when last week we were talking about the hard way, I was assuming he pulled it out backwards, and that to me would be the hard way. But
the hard way was going out forward because you got to pull all the fletching through your body.
Right. But it's either that or pulling an arrowhead backwards through your body and tear out some flesh with it.
See, I assumed it was just a target practice arrowhead, right? Or it was just basically the shaft, and then you screw on the arrowhead on the end of that, and it just goes the width of the shaft down to a point. Right?
No, it had a head on it.
Oh, well, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
had a
I'm
head. I'm not doing that. Head like this and shaft coming down.
Okay, so if it had a head on it, I'm way, I'm talking my answer. I'm way wrong. Well, I'm the first one. If it had an actual head on it with like barbs, then you did the right thing.
That took a long time to
Well, that's the thing. Is I just thought it was the regular target head, but I didn't know.
Okay, well, it's good, Jerry. For Texas, we all are on the same page now.
Yeah, no, thank you for turning that up and setting me straight.
All right. Chris wrote an email from no location, and he said, why were you using cow pump all over the list? He said, the answer to the question about why Daryl and T-Dog can get water out of the cow pump.
That's what it's called.
I guess so. I think we were saying this, cow well.
The well for the cow.
There you go. Chris says, to answer that question, becomes apparent during the Chicago episode when they show the house from the perspective of the RV and tents. They're set quite a distance back from the house, and anyone who has to carry water to a campsite knows the water weighs a little more than 8 pounds a gallon, and a 5-gallon jug is 40 pounds of sloshing awkward weight. Cow pump being the closest pump to the campsite would be the obvious choice for the old man and the guy with one functioning arm. Right. So he's just saying that well is closest to where they had their tents and camp set up. So it makes most sense to get there, not carry all the way across the farm.
Right. And water is, what did he say, 8 pounds a gallon?
He said 8 pounds a gallon.
I think it's 1 kilogram per liter. In case you wonder.
That much, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
So 2 liter bottle of pop is 2 kilograms? Okay, that's 4 something pounds, isn't it? 4 pounds is 2 kilograms, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like a lot, but
In the metric system, there is a measure, like there's a correlation between weight and size. Right? So 1 kilogram is 1 liter of water.
Okay.
Right? So that's the correlation.
All right.
And yeah, 25 degrees Celsius.
Well, I'm going to take Chris's take his word here and say that 8 pounds to a gallon and a 5-gallon jug is about 40 pounds of sloshing awkward weight.
There it is. 1 gallon is 8 pounds or 3.7 kilograms, and 1 liter is 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds.
Oh, that's handy. Good to know. Anyways, I think his point makes sense. They're going to use a well close to their camp.
I don't carry water all the way from the house.
Well, no, or well, it's way on the other side.
Or just start that water truck on the highway and drive that in.
That would be helpful too. Yeah. You can put fuel jugs in the wheelbarrow and move them over. Yeah, easy. Okay, moving along. Or an email on the Atlanta firebombing. Let's play the call first.
Hi, this is William calling from Illinois, and this is about the opening scene of Chicago and how the bombing of Atlanta. About the cluster on highway, how this happened is maybe different highway, obviously, and maybe they also napalmed or accidentally napalmed that highway, causing those people to burn to death, not turning into zombies, because if you napalm obviously would burn out your brain. So that's my theory on how they didn't, turn into zombies or eat brains.
So William was talking about the traffic jam that our group gets to at the first episode of season 2 when the herd comes through. So there has been some discussion on why all those people weren't reanimated as zombies, and I think it's a good theory. That may have been napalmed by the military, and those people kind of all burned up. Now there wasn't a lot of evidence of burning there, so to speak. But I think it's a good theory.
Yeah, I think there'd be more evidence of burning. If they napalm something and all the cars be charred, and there'd be lots of like the room that the Shane and Andrea found in that house. That was all burned.
That was definitely burned. But still, I mean, it would explain why those people weren't zombies and they were just lying there dead. So I do like it. Andrew from Colorado wrote in and said, my first observation is that Atlanta is one of the more spread out metro areas in the U.S. Atlanta has at least 3 clusters of commercial districts that have group skyscrapers. Some are further on the outskirts as opposed to the central downtown area. Second, I think you were correct that they were dropping incendiary devices as opposed to explosive devices, and there is evidence of incendiary action in the city, i.e. the burnt out bus and other vehicles.
Ah, yes, the burnt out bus.
That bus was pretty burnt out.
It was a burnt bus.
There's definitely other stuff. Also, rain would wash away some of the like scorch marks, wouldn't it?
It would over time.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it wouldn't clean up a burned out building, right? But
well, I just assume that they firebombed an area of Atlanta that we didn't see. Because we didn't get all the way. It looked like it was downtown, but I'm not sure all the way downtown.
Well, as Andrew says, there are at least 3 commercial districts with group skyscrapers, so they could have just on one of those areas or 2 of them, not the whole place. So it certainly makes sense that it looked the way it did. So okay, finally on the gender secrets, which we will have a little more talk about during our recap, I think. Arthur writes in from Connecticut, writes in, he says, I believe that Jenner told Rick that both Rick and Carl are immune to the virus. I think the writers made sure that everyone knew that both Rick and Carl had the same blood type in season 2 episode 2 for this reason. They did kind of make a big deal about that blood type. Now that you think about it.
Why?
Well, it was brought up a couple of times in that episode about, and just how many times they showed giving blood, talking about giving blood, and then week. The blood thing was a big deal. It seemed like.
So immune. So, but that kind of flies in the face of what we were talking about last week. He said it was almost a throwaway comment where he said what's the results of the blood test, and Jenner said nothing we didn't know already.
That's true. That's true. He wouldn't. Rick wouldn't have known already.
That guy's wearing a big hat. He must be immune.
He must be.
I would assume.
You got a hat on like that.
And Carl's got a hat.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a magic hat. It's like Frosty the Snowman hat, only it's Frosty the non-zombie hat.
Frosty the non-zombie. Okay, why not? You're right. That line from season 1 kind of contradicts this. But hey, still a good theory.
That'd be cool. That'd be very interesting.
We don't know the answer yet. So
anytime you go close to a zombie, send in Rick because he can get chewed on. I'm sure he loses body parts due to chewing, but he's not going to turn into a zombie.
No, or at least he's not going to be killed by the bite necessarily.
Well, he wouldn't get fever and die.
Unless he was just that badly injured.
But he get big chunks of flesh torn off. But that's normal.
Yeah,
that's
just
normal chunks of flesh being torn off.
It happens. Claudia from London in the UK writes in and says, I have a feeling that what Jenner said to Rick was that Shane is after Lori. If you remember in the comics, Dale said that to Rick, and his reaction was to ignore it because he likes Shane. He is his best friend. But perhaps Jenner said what happened between Shane and Lori in the recreation room via a camera. As Rick is a gentleman and Pacific, he's letting it go.
I don't know what happened in the room that was caught on camera. It was pretty close to attempted rape, if not outright attempted rape. And if I found out that, say, you did that to my wife being a good friend, and you attempted that with my wife, I'd probably be very pissed off at you.
Oh, absolutely, I agree. But it's a good theory. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Rick is thinking, well, in this situation, obviously, I'm going to have to bring this up at some point, right. But maybe not at the time. Right. We need Shane to help protect us and stuff like that. I can't cast him off for shooting face.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. But there were cameras all over the place, so Jenner or somebody theoretically could have certainly seen what was happening.
Or maybe Jenner told him that he slept with his wife.
But I'm gonna blow it now, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
he
could have. So we've got a number of theories on what the Jenner secret is. One of which I think we're going to debunk in our recap of secrets. I'd say confirmed. I would say so. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, as I said, it's going to be our recap of season 2, episode 6. Just before we do that, I want to tell you that listeners of Talking Dead, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Jason, you have a review for the people this week.
You know what I'm going to review?
What is it?
I'm going to review Catch 22 by Joseph Heller.
What is it?
Narrated by J.O. Sanders. And have you read Catch 22?
About 50%.
50% of Catch 22, you've read Catch 11.
That's right.
So Catch 22 is basically coming to our lexicon from this book, and it's basically the story. The literal reason for this is Orr was crazy and could be grounded. He was a pilot, and he was crazy. And he very well could be grounded. All he had to do was ask. And as soon as he did, he would no longer be crazy. He would have to fly. So Catch 22, a very good book. I read it a number of years ago, and very, very much enjoyed it. It was just kind of silly, satirical look on society and war, and was a character major.
That's 2 majors.
It's 4 majors, and the only one was rank.
All right.
So it comes in at 20 hours and 1 minute.
Awesome. To download your free audiobook today, head over to audibletrial.com/talkingdead. Once again, that is audibletrial.com/talkingdead for your free audiobook.
Secrets.
Right, it's time for our recap.
You're gonna read that.
I am. It's our recap of Secrets. This is the penultimate episode before the holiday break, or as they're calling it on AMC, the mid-season hiatus.
That's a good Latin.
It sure is.
And penultimate, one of my favorite Latin phrases.
Penultimate. Anti-penultimate is the third last. Also a good one. That's good. I like it. All right, so Secrets opens with Lori and Carl feeding some chickens, and they're just chatting. It's nice to see Carl up again.
He really is.
Up on his feet. He looks like good as new to me.
Yeah, wearing his hat.
Wearing his hat. Yeah, absolutely. Just looks like he was never shot. So it's nice to see him help out.
Well, he was throwing the chicken feed with his left hand and not his right hand. He was
Oh.
kind of nursing his right hand, so I think there's some residual stuff there.
Well, I'm sure it takes a long time to recover from a gunshot wound to the stomach.
I would assume
So, but it's good to see him anyway. It's good. He calls his mom housewife, which I kind of joke about. She says, "Do you see my house anywhere?" And Patricia's there too, gathering chickens. I guess she's going to make a nice chicken dinner.
Yeah, chicken dinner.
You know, she takes some chickens into another part of the barn, not really the barn, the chicken coop.
Barn area.
There you go. And she quite really breaks the chicken's legs.
Yeah.
I was a little squeamish at that.
How do you, it was the sound effects that bothered me. How do you know what chicken sounds like when it breaks like how's the chicken scream? Right? They get back scream stuff.
Well, people do some pretty horrible things to chickens. I think they may be delicious, but they get I don't know, chickens are very sensitive, and I think people know that, and they treat them poorly.
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering how the sound guys knew that where to go for the sound effect. Like you go to a sound effect database and type in injured chicken, and you like,
Or you know what? They just take your chicken folding noises and mash them all together, and there you have it.
That sounds
Chicken with broken legs. So anyway, she breaks the legs, it's gross, and she stuffs them in a sack and heads to the barn.
Good day.
On her way there, the horse that Daryl took comes running back. Nervous Nelly, whatever they call it. So she gets to the barn, climbs up, and she throws the chickens down to the zombies, and they gobble them up.
They sure do.
So she's feeding chickens to the zombies, I guess, to keep them alive.
So zombies go after animals.
Not canned hams, but they do go after animals. Yeah.
Good to know.
It is. I'm pretty sure in the comic we've seen zombies eating animals. Have we not?
Horse, right?
Oh, yeah,
Horse.
of course. In the TV show, they ate the horse.
Horse.
That's right.
They died, of course.
So the zombies eat these chickens, and we go to credits. When we come back, we have Glenn looking through the binoculars at the barn. He knows what's in there, so he's obviously feeling a little unsure about it, a little distressed. And he comes up, offers some fruit, and she insists that he keep it to himself, that there are no zombies in the barn.
Yep.
Glenn takes the fruit to Dale, and T-Dog is all weird and awkward, as his MO.
Why?
What's going on? Your speeches anyway. Really good. Your speeches. There you go. Andrea apologizes to Daryl. She comes into the tent, and he tells her that they're all good. They're good. You know, she says you're just trying to protect the group, but if you shoot me again, you best pray I'm dead.
That's right.
Fair enough.
Wait.
You know, once is an accident. Twice.
That's it. That's one. That's one.
One's right. Two strikes and you're out.
Shoot me once, shame on you. Shoot me twice, shame on me.
That's right. She also brought him a book and was titled "The Case of the Missing Man." Interesting.
Missing man with a missing hand, as in brother.
I guess so. Yeah. Or it could have been called "The Case of the Never-Ending Case of the Missing 10-year-old Girl."
Oh, Daryl's such the Sawyer of the show, isn't he? He's a book reader.
Nickname giver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, nickname giver. Yeah, he's Sawyer.
So we cut over to Glenn and tell Lori that she has to tell Rick about the pregnancy, but he also offers to go back and get whatever she needs, vitamins or an Estelle, for example. That's nice. I mean, he being the only one who knows, I guess he feels a little bit not responsible, but wants to step up and help her out because no one else will. Right. And she kind of tells him to mind his own business for now, right? Shane and Rick are planning to continue the never-ending search for Sophia. They decide to go look at housing development that Jimmy mentions. They figure maybe she's found her way to housing development. At that point, Beth and Patricia come over and ask if they can join the gun training, and they say that Herschel consented. And this time Rick says, "Well, I'll go after myself."
Yeah.
We don't see that take place.
We assume it happens
Yeah,
because they go to practice.
That's right.
And if Rick says, "Go through all that," says, "I don't mind confirm that," and it doesn't.
Well, he's just digging himself a bigger hole, right? Herschel is already feeling a little bit, unsure about these people. So Carl at this point comes up wearing the hat, and he takes Shane aside and he asks to teach him how to shoot. This was a cool scene. Shane says, "It's up to your parents," but then realizes that Carl already has a gun in his pants. He's back in heat. Who knows where he found that gun?
Well, they was explained in the next scene that they all let him into the camera, and there was like weapons in there.
Dale is keeping weapons, absolutely. So Rick, Shane, Lauren, and Dale are standing around in that scene talking about shooting lessons, and Lori is clearly uncomfortable with it, but she ultimately agrees. Everyone else seems to be like, no, he's going to have to learn to shoot at some point, and apparently Shane is the best gun instructor Rick has ever seen.
Well, if people start picking up weapons, right? If Shane's going to pick up a weapon, just passing out of some need to help protect himself and his family in the camp, the best thing you can do in that situation is give him some training so that he's at least a little bit safer with the thing, rather than picking up and having no idea how to operate it anyway and having it accidentally go off.
Yeah, Carl's going to pick up weapons. He's a Shane.
Yeah, Shane's dangerous too. Yeah, at least he knows what he's doing. Yeah, Carl, for example, or anyone, if you're going to have weapons around, they're going to be tempted to handle them. Teach him how to use them. At least be safe with them.
Yeah, at least even if you can't shoot anything, at least know how to handle it, blowing the head off. That's right. It does make sense. Although I felt a little bit like everyone here was a little too easy for Carl. Sort of like it felt like everyone, like his mom didn't want to do it. Everyone else was like, yeah, you know, it's fine, you can handle it.
Well, I'm pretty sure the world's different than it used to be.
Well, true.
Apparently Shane's taught people younger than Carl already.
Yeah, Carl's what, 10?
I guess so.
You know, and boy, how early did they start gun training in most parts of the United States? I mean, that's young. It feels young to me, anyways. Yep. You know.
That's good.
So the folks that are heading out, Shane has a fancy new Hyundai. Is he traded in a Jeep for a Hyundai?
I guess so.
Or a Hyundai. It's nice to be car. We see a lot in this episode. So I think does this qualify as Gerber level product placement?
Oh, it's higher than Gerber level.
You think so?
I think so.
That Gerber level.
Because there was a Hyundai commercial in the show.
Oh, there was. I saw at least one Hyundai commercial for sure. We should go to their website see if they have a Hyundai.com/apocalypse.
Survive the apocalypse with Hyundai.
Yeah, it went anything. Glenn doesn't want to leave and makes up that he has to work with Dale fixing the spark plugs.
Oh, spark plugs.
Yeah, that's right. And after everyone heads out, he tells Dale that they're watching the barn. He just spits right
somebody
out.
tells you something that you think somebody else should know. It's like, go to the drum, just tell me. There's waters in the barn and where's
That's right. You know, he doesn't hold back. So now Dale knows. Dale's our keeper of information. It seems like.
Ain't no flies on Dale.
No, he knows what's going on. He certainly
He's
does.
on top of the, he sees everything.
He does. He sees and hears everything. He has the eyes and the ears of that institution.
That's right.
So we go to gun training. Scott, Jimmy is kind of being asked, shooting down sideways, and T-Dog tells him to quit with the gangster shit, which I like.
Well, absolutely.
I like that line, don't shoot down sideways. That makes
Sometimes
sense.
you get a gun face to do that. Because you have more muscles to do this. If you're pointed out, you have your whole arm to be able to handle the recoil, whereas if you turn sideways, you have fewer muscles that you can use to hold that thing in place. You get that thing right in the nose.
Right, if your arm does buckle back, you're right to get rid of the face. So, you know, good. We don't want Jimmy being a douchebag that way. Andrea's there. She is shooting quite well, and so Shane gives her a bigger gun.
How do you know I haven't hit my target? That's a nice little grouping that she had going there.
Well, she pulls that out and no trespassing. It was pretty good. But he gives her the bigger gun, and she nails that can right off the fence. As everyone kind of walks away, Andrea turns to Shane and says, "You decided not to leave us. Change your mind. Got to shot Carl." Right, that's exactly what it is. Well, I guess it wouldn't have made it easier.
It would, but now he's practical around. He has more things to do, and it's just, he loads stuff in and out of the car, whereas he just took off. He's driving. It's fun.
Yeah, load stuff in the car. That's worth staying for.
Well, you think so?
I guess fire with you. I'm gonna go put it in the trunk and then maybe later I'll take it out.
I'm gonna go to the well and rest the water back over here. You mind?
Well, see, they could use the Hyundai and the big trunk in that thing.
Just fill that thing with water. I'm sure it's waterproof.
Drive to the highway, pick up the jugs in that truck.
You should do that so you can have a shower.
I want to see somebody doing that. It makes no sense that they wouldn't go get that water, doesn't it? Like it's right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, now it's not right there. It was right there. It was right there for a long time.
Or at least see some of those jugs around the farm as if they went and got it and used them.
They could be a good place to hold pine cones and stuff if they're running empty water.
Why?
Sometimes they change, but nobody uses them anymore. So pine cones.
My kids have collected pine cones one time or another, so why not? All right. Dale goes to talk to Herschel about the zombies in the barn, and we get this conversation.
With all due respect, you are cut off from the outside world here. I've seen people I cared about die and come back, and they're not people. My wife and stepson are in that barn. They're people.
So Herschel compares them, as we know, he's sort of looking at the zombies as just sick people, not, monsters that are out to kill you and eat you. And he makes a good point. My wife and stepson are in there. They're people. They're not, just monsters.
They were people.
Yeah, but there's a fine line, right? Especially when you know those people so close like that.
That's true. There's a different world out there now. He's just not recognizing the fact that the world's overrun by zombies, not by people.
It's true. I think Herschel has a small point to make in that, you're right, they're zombies, but I didn't know that they were living in this house before they got turned into zombies. That's true. Kind of thing. They were very close to him for his whole life, probably. But we go to commercial and we come back, and Lori goes to thank Herschel for treating Carl, and finds out that Herschel wants to leave. She is not too happy about that. We go to Shane, giving Andrea the advanced class, shooting moving target.
No, giving Lori the advanced class was last season. He's not off in the woods. Right, the advanced class.
Well, he's giving Andrea the advanced shooting class, moving target. He gets all intense and starts yelling at her, and he yells, "That's the water to get Amy, now shoot him." And she gets upset and walks off.
Sure does.
So
That's the threat of the ever seen, eh?
well, maybe that works for him. Get people fired up.
What if he does that with the really young kids, younger than Carl?
Yeah, the 8-year-olds screaming at them. That's the kid you hit in the playground, shoot him.
You know how to train a kid to shoot? Yell at him, make him cry.
Yeah, you'll shoot something. Yeah, for sure. But Andrea gets pissed and walks off. We come back to Lori, who's confronting Rick about her conversation with Herschel, and she's upset that he didn't tell her earlier.
We have to fix this. If we're still devastating, I'm working on it. We have to help him do it. Things are easy right now. Portions of space.
Don't look at me like that. Like you're scared. Like you don't trust me. I can take anyone else, but not from you. I understand. You keep something nice to me. I like it. It shows a little bit of tension between Rick and Lori. You know, he's like, look, I can handle things. You guys support me, right? Pretty much. So we cut back to Andrea. She's walking down the highway. Shane picks her up and stands one day, and yeah, he just explains to her he's trying to get her battle and get her angry and focused, and she'll be a better shooter because of that.
I think that's the wrong way to go.
You think so?
Yeah, yelling at somebody and berating them and pulling their focus. Sure, it's good for you tear somebody down. You gotta build them up too, right? You can't just turn them down, tell them they're worthless and tell them they can't shoot. And if you're if water's coming after you, you're gonna die because you're useless and weak and is that puts a pain on your uniform.
Isn't this the entire mentality about basic training in the army though?
It is, but it's.
I'm not saying.
I was thinking about that. I was trying to think of the difference. The idea of turning somebody down in the military basic training is to remove individualism, right? In order to make them perform as a unit, and you're training them. And when you do good, you're at least told that you're adequate, right? You don't just turn them down and say that you're a piece of crap and you're not gonna be able to do this because you're worthless and weak.
Right. You are rewarded at some point, even in the army.
Yes, and it's also you can't do that to an individual. You do it to a group of people, right? You tear somebody one person down in order to unify the group.
Yeah,
right. It's done in order. You always do it in full public view. You don't do it privately. You don't do it to an individual. You talk to an individual. You don't beat them up emotionally and verbally in order to get them to perform.
It's like a sports team. The coach is not their friend; he's their coach. The players need to be friends, or at least be a team.
Right. And by being mean and not being their friend, you basically give that group of people somebody to rally against. Right. Whereas I could not see the purpose of this. I could not see the training value in what he was doing to him.
Well, ultimately, he apologizes when she's back in the car, and he tells her that Sophia invites her along to be my backup. He says, "Interesting line, I thought." He's obviously doing her some credit, being able to shoot something. Right. So
she should things are standing still. So
yeah.
We're gonna look for Sophia. Yeah. Hopefully she stands still.
Or hopefully all the times we encounter standing still. So we go to Dale comes to meet. Lori gets nauseous from the smell.
She holds her hair in her nose. Do you know people along here that do that? Grab her hair and hold it up her nose. Does that prevent smelling?
You know, I haven't had long hair in a long time to try that, so I don't know. Maybe it does.
Mine's always in a ponytail long. I really
me too. Back in the old high school days. Maybe it does. Maybe her hair hasn't been washed in so long that it stinks and it'll nasty smell. Like plumbers who have to go and unclog a severely clogged toilet. They put mint right under their nose. That's all they can smell. No, just a mint. It's such a strong overpowering smell that it cancels out anything else.
Well, it's mint next time I have to unplug really smelly poo smell.
Does that happen in your house very often?
Not quite the time.
Okay, good. But anyways, Lori is feeling so good. She goes over and kind of gags a little bit, and Dale comes over and tells her story about his wife being pregnant once. She quickly realizes, well, he obviously knows.
Well, I could be, they had some pretty good stories here. When we talked to Hershey, I went for a walk, I walked by the barn, I heard the moans and stuff. That's a plausible story. When he notices that Lori is nauseated by the smell of cooking food, he comes up with a plausible story, right? And nobody believes him, not for a second. I mean, she knew that Glenn told him about her pregnancy, and Maggie knew was giving Glenn shit for telling that there were zombies in the barn. So obviously Herschel didn't believe Dale at all. Somebody believes Dale.
Well, I think Lori believed him for a second. I think she bought it for a second that he didn't know, but she changed pretty quickly because she does acknowledge the fact. And then Dale asks if it's Shane's, and because he knows or he assumes they were doing it back in season 1. And Lori worries that they were so obvious. And Dale says, no, we knew. And in fact, he says, I wasn't even sure. Right. But Lori does reassure him, sort of with no doubt in her mind, that it's Rick's.
Yeah,
interesting line.
That was interesting.
She's like, no, this is Rick's baby. She also says that she runs on memories now, and that's what gives her joy. She can't see how a child would be able to grow up in a world like this with no hope for happiness because a child born now wouldn't have any fond memories looking back. Right. My only problem with this scene is human beings only know what they know. And a kid that's raised in a world with zombies only knows a world with zombies. That's how they grow up. It would be an easy life, but if this kid had living people around him or her, there would still be a chance for a normal life in a zombie apocalypse.
Well, that would be, what is normal, right? Normal is the average of what happens around you. So this would be a normal life for her unborn child as they grow up. It wouldn't be a normal life for her,
no,
because she grew up in what she considers normal. This is abnormal. But for a child, that'd be perfectly normal.
So one thing about this scene that I had to go back and double check. They used the word joy 2 or 3 times. Lori did, and that's what gives her joy. And in my mind, I was thinking that in the comic book that was the baby's name, Joy, and it was a bit of a thing they were doing. But I went and double checked the baby's name in the comic was Judith, Judy, not Joy. Anyhow, we go to commercial and we come back to Glenn chopping wood. Lori comes over and tells him that she does need help and that he can get her stuff she needs for town. So he's gonna go back and get her what she wants. Then Maggie on the horse and head in, but she's not really talking to him. She's kind of pissed.
She's mad.
She's very mad. She asks him to stop calling them walkers, and he wants to know what she calls them. She says, Mom, Sean, Mr. and Mrs. Fisher, Lacey, and Duncan. She calls them. She's with her dad. She thinks these are just people. Right. That have names. These aren't horrific monsters that won't eat you.
But then they talk about the zombie in the well, right? Yeah, because he said, what about this? You saw what happened to the zombie in the well, so I don't know what happened. But I think if she recognized that zombie in the well, like his picture was on the fridge, yeah, she would have said, that was Billy.
Yeah, that's true. She would have told who that was. Yeah. So I guess she didn't know that zombie in the well, but she knows most, not all, in the barn. Yeah, I think that's what we got going on here. So they go to the pharmacy, they start looking for the stuff, and oh my god, Maggie gets attacked. There's a lurker there.
Very quiet lurker. He reaches out and grabs her.
He was just standing behind that shelf, just waiting for someone to walk by.
For how many visits was he there? Like they went to that pharmacy at least once that we saw, but a few more times I assume.
He could have wandered in since the last visit.
They closed the door. Like, every time they go in, the door's closed.
Yeah.
I think they did that on purpose. So that lurker's been working around inside that place for an awful long time.
It seems implausible though that you wouldn't have seen before. Don't you think?
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying is that the fact that he was in there this time is unrealistic.
Maybe there's a back door that they don't know about. I don't know.
I would clear the place. The first time I went there, I would make sure it was clear, and I would close the door each and every time. If the door was open, then I know that I would need to clear the place again.
Oh, that's good point.
I go clear the place every time, no matter what.
Make sure that it's
I'd walk in with some kind of weapon so that I could make sure that there was no zombies in there. I wouldn't just walk in. Okay, now I need to fill my basket full of cheese strings.
Rule number 1: make sure the area is clear of zombies. That's right. I agree. So it's attacking her. It's got her by the arm, and Glenn bashes it with a shelf and sort of half cuts its head off. It was kind of awesome. Yep. And once it goes down, he pulls out his Gerber brand machete and chops it in the head until it's dead.
That's when he remembers he has a weapon on him instead of having to look around for a makeshift one. Oh my god, what am I going to use? Hold the shelf. I'll use the shelf. What about this freaking machete you have on you?
I don't know. It's true. Why would he have the shelf? He had a machete hanging from his belt. Maybe he was worried about being too close to Maggie, and if they moved and got her in the head by accident.
Wouldn't you want to use something that was particularly balanced in order to be accurate rather than a shelf, which is not really meant to be a surgical weapon?
I could hit you with a shelf by accident, and you'd probably be fine, right? You'd be bruised and black eye, broken nose.
Or you cut my neck half, completely in half.
No, the only reason you do that is because of decomposition in the neck. I don't think I could take like an IKEA shelf, hit you in the neck, and carve half your head off. I'd have to hit you pretty hard.
That's true.
So I think, yeah, he either forgot to get the machete, or was worried that he would use the machete and accidentally chop her arm off or something.
It was a razor sharp shelf, I think.
It could have been a razor sharp shelf. Maybe it was one of those metal shelves.
Yeah, metal shelf. Was it wood?
No. Okay, well, I don't know. A shelf tech is a little bit more dramatic, maybe.
Magically appearing zombie.
I think it was cool. Maggie, though, was obviously traumatized. She's like, oh my god, what just happened?
Well, it was the first time she got attacked by a zombie
That we've seen, yeah.
No, I think it was the first time. She said, we know how she freaked out when she saw the teabag zombie in the well. I think that this is the first time that she's ever been physically attacked herself by zombies. Okay, it's traumatic.
That's for sure. Maggie and Glenn come back, and she's still kind of freaking out. She throws all the stuff at Lori right on the ground, including what she calls her abortion pills. Yep. They storm off, and Maggie tells Glenn that he's actually a leader, but nobody knows it. They always send, zombie in the well, send Glenn down.
You need something from the store, send Glenn.
Send Glenn, that's right. No, she sort of tells him that these people don't respect you for what you are. And then she says, I can't take you becoming one of them. So I think she got bad for Glenn.
She does have bad for Glenn, but she also says the word walker.
Yeah, before she was talking about mom, dad, not mom, but mom, Sean, Mr. Fisher, and so on. And now she's yelling at Glenn. She said walker.
She does.
It was a quick turnaround right there.
I think she's realizing that these zombies are not people and are dangerous things and are not going to be cured.
Well, when you attack like that, I mean, if you still think that they're just not going to hurt you, you're a little bit confused, I think. So we go back to Shane and Andrea. They're searching a house, and suddenly zombies are everywhere. They don't find Sophia, which is a bonus. They do find some really disgusting burned out maggot covered people. Yep. Do you think these people? What do you think happened there? Do you think these people like burned themselves? Like did they? No. They were because there was a part. They said there was a wall that was blocked up, so they were trying to barricade themselves in the house. I think. Yes. Maybe they trapped themselves and somehow got on fire.
No, I think it's the other way around. I think that because this is the garage, right? The garage door was open. So I think the zombies were getting in there. They went back into the house and barricaded themselves in the house, and then somehow maybe they set the room on fire, then barricaded themselves in, and then the zombies got through the hole. I think that they came in through the door that was shut. Okay. And they didn't know people were living there or were in the house, were worried about that door, and this was a fallback position. They started in the garage and they moved back in there.
Oh, okay. Maybe in any case they didn't survive.
No, or they left. Maybe they burned all the zombies in the garage, and as they were getting through the hole in the walls, went, take that back door. Like I heard about.
Get out of here. But Shane and Andrea run back out the front, and he tells her cover the street while he clears the zombies from around the car.
His precious car.
His precious car.
Don't get a car.
You worry about them. Yeah. Don't shoot the car. I'll take care of that.
Take the car. You protect us.
It's so much better than my Jeep. I don't want any gunshot holes in it.
It's green for crying out loud.
So it's an interesting scene that happens next. He headshot takes the zombies down. Andrea starts firing, gets some body shots. So she's hitting them. That's a good start. Yeah. And then, Shane has a moment where he's cleared the zombies from the car, and he can help Andrea shoot the zombie that's coming at her, but he hesitates and lets her do it herself.
Well, she got her weapon jam.
Oh, that's right, weapon jam. He yelled at her to clear it.
Just relax, clear the jam, because part of the training on weapon usage is how to deal with jam. There's a few different types of jams, and there's
Strawberry,
raspberry jam,
okay.
then there's also jelly. I don't want to get started on jelly, but so when there's a jam, you clear the jam, right? So that's what she was doing. That's part of the training, is how to clear the jam. This is what happens sooner or later, usually from dirty weapon, if you don't clean it regularly. So he was just telling her, relax, clear the jam, get another round in, get back to business.
She managed to do it. Yep. She shoots the zombie at a relatively close range, right through the head.
Yeah. See, this was the I actually credit Shane for this part of the training.
It was a birth canal moment, wasn't it?
Well, yes, sort of. I mean, she didn't actually go through a birth canal, but it was for a moment. But he let her, take that shot. He didn't protect her, he didn't save her. He knew that, I got your back. Just do what you need to do. And so she came to terms with, yes, I gotta shoot these things, and I gotta be calm about it. And then she just turns into a machine.
Well, after she takes out that first one, after clearing the gun, she, I don't know, goes all zen, uses the force, and is able to just stand there and shoot away and start taking them out. It was a little bit unrealistic, but I thought it was totally awesome.
I thought it was a good one. I like how.
Well, no one's gonna suddenly just go from hitting almost nothing to being a sharpshooter.
Well, she's a good shot. This is her epiphany, right? It's the realization that yes, I can do this. Yes, this is how you do it. It's just that whole epiphany moment that everything just comes together. And it's like, okay, I just need to relax and shoot these things in the head.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna panic. I can do it. Sort of thing. You're right. I don't know. It happened pretty quick for me, but she shot the can off and she bullseyed that no trespassing sign. So it's clear that she can't do it. She needs to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, but she's calm. She's a very good shot. All she had to do was realize, when I'm calm, I'm a good shot. So calm down.
It was fun to see her kill that first one and have that realization that she's awesome. Yeah, that's the way I saw it. We go to commercial and we come back. We have Glenn talking with Lori, and she's regretting sending him. He gives her prenatal vitamins just in case she doesn't want to use morning after pills. Glenn tells her that she shouldn't make this choice alone, and he can't tell her what to do, but she shouldn't make the choice alone. She needs to let her husband in on what's going on.
Or Dale.
Yeah, or Dale.
Talk to Dale.
He knows anyways, right? So we go to Andrea and Shane driving back in the car. She's feeling all good about herself, so she reaches over and grabs him in the crotch.
Yep. Forward. That's okay. Whatever. She's a machine.
There's not a lot of living people around. You gotta take what you can get. That's right. She's a shooting machine, and Shane looks at her, pulls over the car,
And gives her the advanced class.
and then it's on.
Oh, yeah, a lot of room in that front seat.
Well, it's a big Hyundai, man. There's a lot of room in general in that. You feel like groceries in the back, whatever.
That's my car. I might take a go pick one of those up.
There you go. So they do it, which is exciting. Go back to Lori, and she is fretting over what to do, trying to make a decision. She hasn't told anyone. She's still sitting there in that tent, and she decides to swallow a whole bunch of pills, but then immediately changes her mind and runs out of the tent to vomit them up.
Right.
There was some chatter online about these pills and the fact they were morning after pills, and wouldn't actually have any effect once you were already
Well,
pregnant.
that's why she took a handful.
Apparently it doesn't matter. We got an email from somebody real quick, very briefly. Emergency contraceptive pills cannot cause the termination of implanted embryo. There are medications that will cause spontaneous abortions. However, emergency contraceptive pills are merely high dose birth control. I realize it was needed for the plot for this week's episode, but it may be irresponsible to perpetuate false information. That's from Dan.
Right.
So he kind of has a point there. I didn't really know the difference myself, but if that's the case, I have no reason not to believe Dan. Yeah, it's sort of weird that they would go with morning after pills, clearly labeled morning after
Oh,
pills.
really?
Yeah,
Because when Maggie threw them down, she said abortion pills.
That's what she
She's
said.
different than emergency contraceptive.
No, the package clearly said morning after pill, and this is what I mean. Like, they called them abortion pills, they were labeled morning after, and apparently there's a big difference there. Right?
So if they call this morning after pill, am I right to assume that when you have sex, the sperm wait for a while, at least until mid-afternoon the next day before they go after the egg? It's contraception, right? And it's the morning after pill. I assume that the sperm will not take
I suppose. Why not? They just swim around for a while, bumping into each other, wondering what to do.
All right, guys, okay, wait for the egg. Don't you time? It's 25 more. Wait,
Wait,
yeah, wait for after lunch.
Okay.
Whoa, slow down there, party.
Way to make fun of a serious situation. Sorry. So she goes and throws them up. We got Andrea and Shane coming back, and they tell Carol they didn't find Sophia. Dale can obviously tell that something weird is going on because he's got the sense for that. He always knows what's going on.
Exactly what's going on.
He confronts Shane about leaving, for one, about Otis's death, and the time, this is the most exciting thing, the time that Shane raised his gun on Rick back in season 1.
I got you, Rick. He's my best friend. He's the man I love. He's my brother. He's the best man I am. That's right. I'm gonna go out to the bathroom. That's the only guy made me now. He's my best friend. Which day I do something I don't even like. When he starts going accusations, I'm like, what do you think?
Shane clearly is a bit of a, losing a little bit more.
Yeah, he's
he's totally unhinged, so he doesn't like Dale. He did not like Dale.
Well, he's obviously unhinged. You don't like Dale.
I guess Andrea really liked him for a while.
He's got a hat.
He's got a hat. Even though you have a hat, you're all right. Oh, all right. You're all right.
Everybody needs a hat.
Anyways, Rick comes into his tent and finds the morning after pills. Dun dun dun. He goes up on Lori and Field and they have a little chat.
Morning after chat.
The morning after chat. So she admits that she's pregnant. Rick clearly does not already know about the pregnancy. So I think this confirms that is not what Jenner whispered to him.
I agree.
If Rick had known, he would have been like, yeah, Jenner.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then they would have had a different argument.
Yes,
Why you
he's not going to perpetuate the myth at this point. He's going to be like, yeah, I knew that.
I knew that, she'd be mad because he didn't say anything. He's equally mad because she's taking these pills.
It'd be a more typical married couple argument.
You're right. You didn't tell me either.
Yeah. We're going to be right. Everybody's wrong.
That's right. So, but first he is kind of pissed off, but then he tries to convince her that they have to try to make it work. So he changes his tune pretty quickly in the midst of that conversation right there. Rick asks if there's anything else he needs to know, and she tells him that she had sex with Shane. Rick says he already knows.
That I knew.
Yeah, that I knew. And he asks her if it's because she thought he was dead, and she says yes, and the episode's over.
Yep. That makes sense.
So holy crap, a lot of stuff was, a lot of secrets came out here.
Yeah.
Pregnancy's out in the air. We know that Jenner didn't tell him about the pregnancy.
Yep.
Rick finds out that her and Shane were doing it.
Yep.
Anything else? What was the main thing, I think?
Yeah, Dale knows that there's walkers in the bar.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
else does yet.
Well, they're gonna find that out pretty soon.
Right, yeah.
When we get the next week on The Walking Dead, we're gonna find out what it looks like. But this was a fantastic episode. I really like this one. This it might be my favorite of season 2 so far. Even though I pretty much no last week was my favorite.
You said that last week, but this was probably your favorite.
No, I don't know. Maybe one before. This one definitely my favorite season 2. Really like this one.
I have a doubt.
Okay, fine. I tweeted over to the guys at the Walking Dead TV podcast. I gave this one 5 busters.
5 busters.
That's how they rate episodes, and 5 out of 5. So really good episode. Like a lot of stuff happened. That's the most important thing. The last episode stuff happened, but it was sort of more just minor stuff. Right? This was all major big time stuff. I was very excited about it.
It was a very good episode.
Like a lot. Did you enjoy it?
I very much enjoyed it. It was great.
Okay, good. Colin, let us know what you thought of the episode. There's all kinds of stuff probably to talk about here and speculation to be had on where we're going from this point. So it was really good. I'm happy. There's one more for the break-in. I wonder if they can top it.
Oh, they'll top it.
Think so?
Oh, it'll be topped.
All right.
We got zombies in the barn we're going to deal with.
That's true. And some sort of cliffhanger.
That's right.
Presumably. Cliffhanger is always good.
Yes.
All right. So great episode. I'm super happy that it was a really good one. And you're right. We're just going to go into hiatus on high note here, which is better than kind of, sucking.
Yeah,
into the
at the
hiatus.
end of the mid-season finale, you're like, yeah, I may watch the next one that comes on.
Yeah. That would not be so cool.
No.
All right. Let us now get into this.
Holy crap. Did you see that?
All right. It's time for Holy Crap. Did you see that? We have a comment from our website from Lisa, who read our comment earlier, but she also wrote in and said, I had a lot of Holy Crap. Did you see that moments on this episode? But because we already spoke about some of them, I would go seeing Daryl and Carol. When she leaned and kissed him on the forehead, he kind of flinched and tried to shield himself as if she was going to hit him.
No.
Yeah, I found that both hilarious and kind of cute, even though it says a lot about his past and not in a good way.
He doesn't like to be touched.
No, some people just don't, So it's a good moment, I think.
More comfortable being touched by squirrels. Dead squirrels.
Yeah, he's okay with dead squirrels touching them, eating them, wearing them.
Yep. Don't want to people.
Don't want to people, that's right. If a person comes near him, get away from me, get away. All right, unfortunately, Dave didn't call in this week with Holy Crap. Did you see that moment? So we'll have to talk to him about that.
Yeah.
But Jason, do you have one from this episode?
I do have a holy crap. It's something we mentioned already in the recap. I just want to point out that we saw our first non-headshot. When Andrea was shooting at the zombies, we had some actual body shot. Now, I know Shane is very good with firearms now, and I believe that he can get a headshot every single time. When he pulled that, that log swinging, and he unholstered his weapon and shot immediately, that was a very fast draw, very accurate shot. I believe Shane can hit a head every time.
There was no hesitation when he did that with the log.
That was a really good shot. I really like that shot. This is the holy crap. Did you see that moment was that we saw some actual body shots. We did nothing.
We finally had body shots. That's right. It's really exciting. We probably won't see more because now Andrea's master marksman as well. That's right. But I don't know, maybe Carl gets body shots or something.
Maybe. Just aim up. Is that better? I think you have a bigger target aim up. I'm not sure why.
Oh, really? I don't know.
People look fatter when you shoot pictures of them from the ground up.
Yeah, you can see my little chin more.
I just like that makes you a bigger target. Same principles apply in my brain.
I guess so, why not? All right, well, I kind of had 2 Holy Crap. Did you see that moments? And one, you brought up in the recap too, and it was how Maggie very quickly went from thinking these were people to calling walkers a second later. So I'm going to go with the second one here, and it's a bit of a cheat, I admit.
Cheat?
Yeah, because it involves a scene where Andrea was firing at the zombies. But I watched a behind the scenes of that scene, and they showed how they did, I guess how they did the shot where after she clears the jam in her gun and she raises it and gets her headshot there there with the zombie that's right close in front of her. Well, what they do is they have a gun that is mounted on a stick that sticks straight out from the gun, and on the end of the stick is a camera pointing straight back at the gun. So she's, moving around like this with a gun with a camera on a stick. And I thought it was really cool. So my only graphic you see that moment is kind of that shot of her shooting zombies to the head, but also how they shot it, how they did it. It was like a 5D Mark II or something, a DSLR on the end of that stick. Well, a lot lighter than a film camera.
Well, still, anything in the stick that you got to hold at arm's length, and you only have your wrists to hold up there.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit heavy, but not too bad.
I'm surprised that gun was slightly pointed up. When she was moving it around, I noticed that for some reason the gun she was shooting had a slight upward angle to it, and I thought it was a little odd. But I think because of the camera on the stick at the end of it, in order to hold it up, she had to, it couldn't be pointed straight out. It would get down too much.
Yeah, when we were seeing her not head, like when we weren't seeing gun view or reverse gun view, she doesn't have a stick on it. So maybe she's just used to that and compensating a little. I don't know.
Okay, so it remains weird.
Yeah, it remains a little weird. I don't know. But it was neat. I never thought about reverse gun cam. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, sure.
Trademark. So it's kind of cool. All right, what we're going to do now is end the podcast before we get into next week on The Walking Dead, because this is sort of the spoilery section where we talk about what happens next week. I think what we'll do is wrap things up, and then if you're interested in sticking around for next week on The Walking Dead, hearing the audio from the promo clip and so on, you're more than welcome to do that. Yeah, so if you want to contact us, by all means, send a phone call to 1-866-483-ZOMB. That's 9662. We love to get all your feedback, comments, and questions. You can find us on Twitter at Talking Dead or on Facebook, facebook.com/TheTalkingDead. Finally, send your emails to talkingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. So before we get into spoilers, my name is Chris,
And my name is Jason.
and for The Talking Dead, we'll see you next week when we cover pretty much Dead already.
Bye.
All right, for those of you that are sticking around, we're trying something new here. We've ended the podcast, but we're still going, and we're going to do
Next week on The Walking Dead.
That's right, next week on The Walking Dead. Jason, you want me to play the clip?
Sure.
All right, this is promo for next week on the program.
Next week, coming to the finale of AMC's The Walking Dead. So, why is Walkers? Something good. Choices and go.
We don't know if we're gonna find it there. Can't wait to.
We hate the first world. We need to stay and survive together. I'm telling you, we can't. Enough! It ain't like it was before.
Ain't like it was before,
No, it ain't.
Jason. And it sounds like Herschel ain't changing his mind either.
He never would. So pretty much dead already. And we do see in that clip, if you take a look at the visuals, we do see that Rick indeed has his gun back.
Yeah,
Show it again.
a number of people wrote into that when Daryl, just before Andrea shoots Daryl or grazes him inside the head, he raises the gun at Daryl before he realizes him.
You know, that occurred to me too the other day. So, okay, so that's been put to bed. So the description of this episode from the MCTV website is Herschel set a deadline. All secrets are out in the open. Glenn stands up for himself, and Shane takes charge.
Shane takes charge, eh?
Yeah, because Rick ain't built for this world.
Yeah, that's true. Rick, I guess he's not getting it done. Shane needs to do it.
Take charge, kind of guy.
Shane's been doing a lot lately.
He has in the advanced class. So this episode was written by Scott M. Gimble and is directed by Michelle McLaren.
Of Breaking Bad, directing fame.
X-Files. Just go executive producer on X-Files.
Yeah, just Breaking Bad a little more recent in my mind, that's all.
Not for me, man. X-Files are always there.
Well, cool. It is the last episode before our Christmas break, so, it's going to be something big, and that's all I can say about it.
I think they're gonna leave the farm. That's what I think.
All right, I'm going to say they're going to stay there. They're going to be forced to stay there for some reason. Okay. And they won't leave until sometime in the second half of the season, at which point they will leave, and I'm going to say get to the prison.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say that I think Tyrese is going to show up this season. Not next week, but I think in the second half, for sure. I think we're going to see Tyrese.
You think they're gonna go to Wilshire States or not Wilshire States? What's the gay community that they
Wilshire States?
Wilshire States. So I know I'm second guessing myself. Or do you think that's what Shane and Andrea
Well,
were doing?
that is what they were doing. That scene where she's out shooting zombies, and that is the scene that we saw in a trailer a number of weeks ago, and we speculated that maybe that is Wilshire States. So now that we know, I mean, it could be. So they didn't give a name in the show, right?
Yeah.
So Wilshire States might just be serving a different purpose on the TV show, and they're never going to go there. Or if they get taken to the farm, maybe that's the most logical place to go to look for shelter.
Oh, you remember that zombie-infested place that we went to? We had to run away from because of all the zombies, and luckily we had the Hyundai. We should go there again.
But you know what? Maybe, I mean, in hard times, you gotta make hard decisions. Maybe they figure they can go and clear it out or something like that. They need shelter, right? So I don't know. It could be they leave the farm and they go there and they drive in. Hey, look at the Wilshire States sign. Or maybe we'll just never go again. I don't know. So lots of stuff to find out. All right, that's gonna be it for our show. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is The Talking Dead, a podcast dedicated to the AMC TV show